Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Have you ever felt that despite trials, there seemed to be a light shining through the darkness? Sometimes we go through waiting periods that seem endless, but know that Allah, in His infinite wisdom, never forgets you. Every trial has an end, and subtle signs appear to remind us that this end is near. Today, let's explore together these signs that show that Allah is preparing your heart to receive His blessings. 1. An inexplicable inner peace. There comes a time in life when, despite the storms that shake the soul, an unexpected calm settles within you. It is not a peace that the world could understand or offer, but a tranquility that emerges from deep within your heart. It is a subtle proof that you have placed your trust in the hands of the One who holds control of all things. When you reflect on this serenity, it does not mean that your trials have disappeared. No, they may still be there, oppressive and sometimes painful. Yet a gentle but powerful force carries you. This inner peace becomes a refuge, a safe place where your heart finds rest, even in the midst of the most intense challenges. You may be wondering why this tranquility is manifesting at this particular moment. Know that this is a sign from Allah. It subtly reminds you that your patience is not ignored and that your invocations have never been in vain. Every tear, every prayer, every sigh was seen, heard, and noted. This serenity is none other than a silent message from Allah. I'm with you. Imagine a tree in the middle of a storm. Its branches bend under the force of the winds, but its roots remain firmly anchored in the ground. Likewise, your faith acts as those roots that keep you upright. You may stagger under the weight of the ordeal, but your heart remains attached to the conviction that, despite appearances, everything is in the hands of Allah. This serenity does not arise by chance. It is a divine gift, a reminder that every difficulty comes with ways to overcome it. You feel this peace because you have chosen to surrender to divine wisdom, accepting that your human understanding is limited. When you let this peace dwell within you, it becomes a shield against despair. She whispers to you softly, "Take it one step at a time, for I am with you through this." This feeling goes beyond words because it is not found in rational explanations, but in pure faith, a faith that transcends the visible to touch the invisible. Thus, each beat of your heart becomes a testimony of the divine presence. This inner peace is a light that nothing and no one can extinguish. Let it guide you, because it is precious proof that, even in waiting, Allah envelops you in His mercy. 2. Your prayers become deeper. There comes a time in trials when your prayers no longer seem like simple recitations. They take on another dimension, an intensity that goes beyond words. Each invocation becomes the cry of the heart, a sincere call that seems to come from the deepest recesses of your soul. These moments are precious. They mark a turning point in your relationship with Allah, a spiritual rapprochement that transforms your supplication into a true dialogue. When you pray with such depth, you realize that it is not just a request you are making, but an act of surrender. Your words, even trembling, carry a conviction that your Creator listens, that He understands, and that He responds at the appropriate time. Each tear that flows becomes an offering, each sigh a proof of faith. These are not signs of weakness, but of inner strength, because these moments show that you have chosen to turn to the only one who can truly change your situation. In these deep prayers, it is no longer just a question of asking for a specific result. You feel that your invocations bring you closer to Allah. This intimate bond, invisible but palpable, consoles you in a way that no one can explain. It is a connection where the heart speaks a language that only Allah understands perfectly, without any words being necessary. And sometimes, even before you get what you asked for, you receive a greater gift, a serenity that soothes your heart. you feel that you are not alone. Your prayers, which you thought were made in solitude, were in reality welcomed in divine proximity. You then realize that the most important thing is not just the answer, but the very act of praying. Call on me, I will answer you. This divine promise reminds you that the act of praying is itself a sign that the answer is near. The more sincere your invocations are, the more they reflect strengthened faith and absolute trust. Your prayers are no longer just words, they become a bridge between you and heaven. Every time you turn to Allah in these moments of deep supplication, you elevate yourself spiritually. You understand that your heart, which was once filled with doubts and worries, is being polished and purified. This process of transformation, although sometimes painful, is preparation for something much greater than you could imagine. So continue to pray, even when answers seem slow. Every word, every tear, every pause in your supplication is a step closer to the mercy of Allah. And know that these deep prayers, whether whispered or cried, are heard and honored in a way that only He can orchestrate. 3. Unexpected opportunities arise. Sometimes, in the midst of the most uncertain times, doors open without warning. These are moments when you realize that despite the trials, a path is beginning to take shape. These opportunities, whether small or large, do not happen by chance. They are wisely placed on your path, often in response to prayers you thought you had forgotten. These openings, at first glance, may seem insignificant. Perhaps a chance encounter, an idea that suddenly sprouts, or an offer that seems out of step with your expectations. But if you observe carefully, you will understand that they are blessings in disguise, divine tools to guide you towards an outcome you could not have predicted. In these moments, it is easy to doubt. Why is this opportunity arising now? Why doesn't it look like you imagined? Yet we must remember that Allah's plans far exceed our limited understanding. What seems far from your aspirations could, in reality, be the key to greater good. When these opportunities present themselves, they often require action on your part. Recognition. Have you ever noticed that simply thanking Allah for a small opening can lead to more? Gratitude then becomes the common thread that allows you to follow these divine clues, even if the path still remains unclear. It's also important not to downplay these moments just because they don't match your initial expectations. Perhaps you had prayed for a specific solution, but Allah, in His wisdom, grants you what you really need and not what you imagined. These opportunities are like beacons of light in the darkness, guiding you step by step to a destination you couldn't see from where you started. What's fascinating about these openings is that they always seem to come at the right time, even if that time isn't the one you would have chosen. They come when your heart is ready, when your patience has paid off, and when your faith is strong enough to welcome what these opportunities bring. So, pay attention. Look around you with fresh eyes, and try to notice what you might have overlooked. Allah's answers do not always manifest themselves spectacularly. Sometimes they are found in the details of your daily life, in coincidences that are not coincidences, or in paths that you had never considered. Trust these opportunities, even if they confuse you. They are pieces of a divine puzzle that, when put together, will reveal a picture much bigger than you could have dreamed. 4. Your burdens seem lighter. There are moments when, although nothing seems to have changed in your external circumstances, you perceive a difference. You still carry the same weight, go through the same challenges, and yet, something inside you has transformed. What once seemed unbearable begins to become manageable. It is not that the burden is gone, but that your heart has been strengthened. This subtle lightening is not the result of chance. It is a manifestation of divine promise, a reminder that difficulty and ease coexist like two sides of the same coin. Allah, in His infinite wisdom, adjusts not only the weight of your trials, but also the inner strength you have to face them. When this feeling arises, take a moment to think. Perhaps you have noticed that your ability to manage your emotions has increased. Situations that once caused anxiety or frustration no longer seem to have the same hold on you. This is not a sign that you have become callous, but rather evidence that your soul has been softened by the experience, and that your faith now acts as a bulwark against despair. Sometimes this relief manifests itself in a peace you cannot explain, a sudden clarity in your thoughts, or even a meeting with a person who, with a word or gesture, alleviates your worries. Allah often works through the subtle details, orchestrating circumstances so that gradually your heart adapts and rises above difficulties. It is also important to understand that this process is preparation. Just as an athlete must build endurance before a competition, your trials train you to become more resilient, more patient, and more grateful. This lightening is an indication that you are on the verge of reaching a milestone, a sign that the weight you carry is not a punishment, but a means to achieve a greater good. What may surprise you is that you begin to see meaning in what you are going through. You understand that trials are not there to break you, but to shape you. Allah, in His mercy, never lets a soul carry a burden beyond its capacity. He adjusts the weight of each difficulty so that it is not only bearable, but also educational. So, when you feel your shoulders lighten, know that it is a divine gift, proof that your patience has not been in vain. Continue to move forward with confidence, for this relief is the silent promise that Allah is preparing you for even greater blessings. 5. Kind people come into your life. Sometimes when you feel most isolated in your trials, kind souls appear in your life. Their presence, often unexpected, acts like a gentle light that illuminates your path. These people, whether they are close friends, mentors, or even strangers encountered seemingly by chance, are not there by coincidence. They are instruments of Allah's mercy, a living reminder that you are never alone. These individuals are not always aware of the role they play in your life. With a comforting word, a gesture of attention, or a simple smile, they soothe invisible pains and relieve the burdens you carried silently. You feel their impact not only in the actions they take, but also in the calming energy they give off. Their simple presence is sometimes enough to restore hope, like an outstretched hand in rough seas. It is important to recognize that these people are tangible signs of Allah's mercy. They come at the right time, when your heart is most vulnerable, when you need support, even if you've never expressed it out loud. Their arrival in your life is proof that your prayers, even those made in silence, are never ignored. The beauty of these meetings lies in their diversity. Sometimes it's an old friend who returns after years of absence. Sometimes it's a stranger whose words directly touch a buried pain. And sometimes it's someone you hadn't noticed before, but who turns out to be an unexpected pillar of support. No matter what form they take, these individuals play a key role in your spiritual and emotional life. However, these meetings also require a response from you. It is not just about receiving their help, but recognizing their value and showing gratitude to Allah for these hidden blessings. By opening your heart to their kindness, you participate in the cycle of divine mercy, which never stops circulating. These kind people, whom Allah places on your path, are not only there to alleviate your trials. They are also there to teach you valuable lessons about humility, about the importance of reaching out to others, and about how Allah shows His mercy through His servants. Take time to appreciate these relationships, for they are silent responses to your invocations. So, open your eyes and your heart. Don't neglect small gestures or big encounters. Each of them is proof that, even in times of doubt, Allah supports you and watches over you through the generous hearts He sends into your life. 6. You feel deep gratitude. It's amazing how in the midst of adversity, a light of gratitude can emerge in your heart. It's not because the challenges suddenly disappear, but because you start to see life from a different perspective. Every breath, every little moment of relief, every blessing you may have previously neglected suddenly becomes precious. It is a deep spiritual state, a moment when your soul recognizes that, despite everything, you are surrounded by Allah's mercy. This gratitude is not limited to superficial words or expressions. It settles in your heart as a permanent feeling, an awareness that even in trials, Allah grants you inestimable benefits. It could be unexpected support, a moment of serenity, or simply having the strength to keep moving forward. Every element of your life becomes an opportunity to say Alhamdulillah, even for what seems insignificant. This feeling of gratitude is much more than a spiritual exercise. It transforms your perspective, moving you away from a state of complaint and grounding you in a state of acceptance and recognition. When you realize the wealth of blessings around you, you begin to understand that gratitude itself is a blessing. It softens your heart, strengthens your faith, and prepares you to welcome more of the blessings that Allah reserves for those who recognize His generosity. But why does this gratitude arise particularly in difficult times? This is because trials act as a filter that removes distractions. They force you to refocus your gaze on the essential, to identify what really matters. In these moments, the blessings you were unaware of become evident, and you realize that even in challenges, Allah is watching over you. If you are grateful, I will grant you even more. This divine promise is a powerful reminder that gratitude opens the door to even greater blessings. It is not a transaction, but a state of being that attracts mercy from Allah. The more your heart fills with gratitude, the more your life becomes filled with light and clarity. Practicing gratitude is also a way to resist the temptation of despair. Instead of focusing your attention on what is missing, you realize the richness of what you have. Each day becomes an opportunity to recognize the wisdom of Allah in the smallest details. And in doing so, you learn that trials themselves contain hidden blessings, ready to be discovered by those who choose to look with grateful eyes. So when this feeling of deep gratitude settles within you, know that it is not just an emotion. It is a divine gift, a preparation to welcome more blessings into your life. Cultivate it, cherish it, and let it transform your relationship with Allah and the world around you. 7. Sudden clarity in your decisions. There are times in life when uncertainty accumulates, when every decision seems like a labyrinth with no way out. You hesitate, you doubt, and you wonder if the path you are considering is the right one. Then, almost like a divine breath, an unexpected clarity sets in. What seemed confusing becomes crystal clear, and answers appear where previously there was darkness. This clarity is not the result of chance. It is a gift from Allah, a manifestation of His subtle but powerful guidance. It often comes after you have placed your complete trust in Him, after you have stopped trying to control everything on your own. When you surrender your concerns to His wisdom and mercy, He enlightens your heart and shows you the path to follow. It's fascinating how this clarity can manifest. Sometimes it's an idea that suddenly arises, something obvious that seems to have always been there, but that you hadn't noticed. Other times, it's a difficult decision that suddenly becomes easier to make, as if an invisible weight has been lifted from your shoulders. This guidance can also come from a conversation, a book, or even an event, which, without rational explanation, offers you the answer you are looking for. When this clarity arises, it is accompanied by inner peace. You no longer feel the restlessness of doubt or the fear of failure. Rather, you move forward with confidence, not because you are certain of every detail, but because you know that you are guided by the one who knows what is hidden. This feeling of serenity is a sign that your decision is aligned with divine will, that you are walking on a path that Allah has prepared for you. This clarity is also an invitation. It calls you to act, to take concrete steps with faith and determination. Allah does not give you this light so that you remain still, but so that you move forward with conviction. Even if the path still seems strewn with obstacles, this guidance is proof that each step is a step towards good, even if you do not yet see the final destination. It is essential to recognize that this clarity comes not only after prayers and supplications, but also after the trials that refine your heart. Moments of doubt and uncertainty set the stage for this light. They have dug into you an ability to listen, observe, and recognize the subtle signs that Allah places on your path. So when this clarity comes to you, do not neglect it. It is a sign that you are ready to move forward, that your faith has been strengthened, and that the next stages of your life are in the hands of Allah. Take this light as a guide and walk with confidence, for He who enlightened you will never abandon you. 8. A new energy inhabits you. There are times when, after a long period of fatigue and uncertainty, an imperceptible change occurs within you. What once weighed you down and seemed insurmountable begins to lose its weight. You feel a new energy, an inner momentum that pushes you to move forward with a strength that you thought you had lost. This transformation, although subtle, is a divine gift, a sign that Allah is renewing your strength for what lies ahead. This energy is not simply physical. It goes well beyond the body to touch the soul. It is a spiritual force, an inner breath that awakens in you the courage and resilience necessary to face your challenges. This revitalization does not come out of nowhere. It is the fruit of your patience, your prayers, and your trust placed in Allah. This renewal is a divine response to your silent invocations. When you felt that all hope seemed lost, you continued, however weakly, to pray and move forward. Allah, in His infinite mercy, has seen your efforts and instilled in you this new vigor to remind you that you are never abandoned. This new energy does not mean that your trials will disappear overnight. They may still be there, but the way you perceive and deal with them is profoundly different. You feel stronger, more confident, and above all, more connected to Allah. It is not a human force, but a spiritual power that transcends you. Imagine a land dried out by a long drought. When it finally receives the first drops of rain, it does not immediately become fertile, but it begins to regenerate. Likewise, this new energy is like a beneficial rain that revitalizes your soul after a period of emptiness and difficulty. It prepares your heart to receive more benefits and to face the future with serenity. With this renewed strength, you begin to see your trials from a different perspective. They are no longer impassable walls, but opportunities to grow and bring you closer to Allah. You realize that each challenge you overcome has shaped you, taught you to be more patient, more grateful, and more determined. Above all, this new energy reminds you of a fundamental truth. Allah never tests you beyond your abilities. Every trial comes with ways to overcome it, and this inner strength is proof that He has prepared you for success. You are not alone in this fight. You are supported by the One who knows your potential better than you do. So take this energy as a sign that you are about to reach a new turning point, that the efforts you have made have not gone unnoticed, and that Allah is with you, strengthening every step you take towards Him. Move forward with confidence, because this energy is a promise that your path, although still arduous, leads towards the light. 9. Signs of ease appear. There are moments in trials when, without warning, the light begins to shine through. These are not yet dazzling solutions or miraculous outcomes, but small, almost imperceptible victories that emerge as so many signs from Allah. These moments, although discreet, bear witness to His promise. After every difficulty comes ease. These signs of ease don't necessarily change your entire situation in an instant, but they do lighten the weight you're carrying. You realize that things that seem stuck for a long time are starting to unblock, one step at a time. It could be a calming conversation, a problem that finally finds a solution, or even a simple feeling of relief in your heart. These small openings are not the result of chance. They are carefully orchestrated by the one who controls every detail of your life. Allah knows the exact moment when you need that breath of ease, not to wash away your trials, but to remind you that you are not forgotten. These moments of respite are divine encouragement, subtle reminders that your patience has not been in vain. It's easy to overlook these small victories, especially when you're still immersed in the ordeal. But every sign of ease, no matter how small, is a step that brings you closer to deliverance. They teach you to look carefully at the blessings found in even the simplest details of life. Allah often works through the little things to prepare you for much greater blessings. These moments of ease are also tests. They measure your ability to recognize the hand of Allah in your life, even in the slightest changes. Each solution that emerges is an opportunity to show your gratitude, strengthen your faith, and continue to move forward with confidence, knowing that the path is gradually becoming clearer. These signs can also take unexpected forms. An idea that crosses your mind, a door that opens when you thought it was closed forever, or a person who extends their hand to you at the precise moment you need. These little blessings are like pearls that line up, forming a necklace of ease that you can only appreciate when you step back. Remember that these signs, although gentle and discreet, are tangible evidence that your situation is changing. The trials do not disappear suddenly, but Allah lightens them in stages, depending on your ability to move forward. This gradual process is evidence of His infinite wisdom and mercy. When you begin to see these signs of ease, welcome them with gratitude. Even though your heart still longs for great deliverance, each small victory is a reminder that you are on the journey. Allah is with you, transforming your trials into fertile ground for future blessings. Continue to walk in faith, for these signs are the promise that the best is yet to come. 10. A certainty that your prayers are answered. There are unique moments when a gentle, unshakable conviction settles in your heart. Your prayers will be answered. This is not just a positive thought or a vague hope. It is an inner certainty that surpasses doubts, a divine light that illuminates your soul, even in the deepest darkness. This belief is a gift from Allah, a sign that He is preparing you to receive what you asked Him for, or something even better. When you have this feeling, it comes not from your own strength, but from a deep connection with your Creator. You realize that you do not need to understand or control everything, because the one to whom you have entrusted your prayers is the Master of the universe. Every invocation, every tear, every sigh was heard by Him, even in the silence of the night. This certainty is the fruit of a faith that trials have forged. By persisting in your supplications despite delays or appearances to the contrary, your heart has learned to detach itself from immediate results and attach itself to the promise of Allah. You understand that His answer is not a question of if, but of when. This quiet patience becomes a refuge, a space where your soul rests in absolute confidence that Allah never abandons His servants. The certainty that your prayers will be answered pushes you to pray with even more fervor and sincerity. You don't limit yourself to asking for specific solutions. You surrender to divine wisdom, knowing that Allah knows best what is good for you. This process transforms your prayers into an intimate dialogue, an act of total submission to His will. It is fascinating that this belief acts as a catalyst. It nourishes your patience and resilience, allowing you to wait without despair. You no longer see waiting as a waste of time, but as a precious period where Allah works in the shadows to prepare you and align events in your favor. This certainty is often accompanied by small, subtle signs that strengthen your faith. A word heard at the right time, an unexpected event that confirms that you are on the right path, or simply an inexplicable feeling of peace. These moments are not coincidences. They are divine winks that remind you that you are close to the answer. When this conviction lives within you, it becomes an inner strength that supports you every step of the way. It teaches you that the important thing is not just to get what you asked for, but to strengthen your bond with the one who answers prayers. This faith, in itself, is an answer, a gift that elevates you spiritually and prepares you to receive blessings far beyond your expectations. So continue to remember Allah with this certainty. Don't let deadlines or appearances distract you from your trust in Him. For faith in the divine response is already a sign that the light is about to appear, and that Allah, in His mercy, is closer to you than ever. Every trial is divine preparation for something better. If you recognize these signs in your life, know that Allah is guiding you and that the end of your wait is near. Continue to pray, wait, and trust Him. May Allah grant you His peace and blessings today and always. If this message resonates with you and you are looking to strengthen your faith day by day, subscribe now. Together, let's continue to explore these signs and draw closer to Allah. Click on the subscribe button so you don't miss any of our next shares.